Welcome, friends. I wanted to take some time this morning to remind the viewers, people watching, about why we use statement analysis, deception detection in these particular instances. Now, I want to first but just remind everybody, there's no BS over here that as much as we can help, although we might talk about it a lot. Statement analysis, whether it be scan, PLAIDS, is a tool to help you as an investigator zone in on the right leads, perchance in an investigation. It's not the be-all and end-all. It's not a standalone system that's going to prove a lie or otherwise. It's not even meant to do that. It's a tool that an investigator uses, especially early on in a case when you're trying to sort out where and what you're going to do next. Point out leads. Now, we have to remind everybody that our bias here on this particular channel, because I'm your host, we have a strong bias against Daniel, Malaya, and Janie. For good reason in this particular case. And that's because when there's the amount of deception, linguistic indicators of deception, red flags, from our perspective, these are what is interesting in this particular case. That's what takes priority over here in what we talk about. It's not all crying and coming together kumbaya, trying to prop up the victims in this circumstance. That's not what's interesting. What's interesting and ties and hooks you to this content is the analysis and analyzing all the deception in this double missing child case of Jack and Lilly, for example, specifically is what we're referring to here. Now, when the last three caregivers are being deceptive in this particular circumstance, it can only mean one thing: foul play. This case is suspicious, and it's suspicious because of the linguistic indicators, the behavior of the people, the adults, the people who were in a role of giving care to Jack and Lilly Sullivan are incredibly suspicious. There's a lot of comments that after we get into these conversations that simply want to say, oh yeah, well, if that's true, then why aren't they arrested yet? All of these signs of deception in this circumstance have to go along with real world, tangible evidence. Not that it's not there, it takes time to build. So my point here is you can't overlook why it is and what it is that we're specifically doing here when we focus on all of the deception indicators and all of the shit that comes out of Daniel and Janie's mouths. We can do this till the cows come home, and they'd be quite happy to. Because at the end of the day, it's just random people's opinions in which they seem to find, well, let's say it goes in line with their claimed concerns. Their primary concern, meaning Janie and Daniel, are themselves and their innocence. Everything comes circling back to that. Every step of this, no concern for the children, even when it comes down to Daniel's statements about these cadaver dogs. He's happy that he even hopes that they're going to bring two. Then he dodges the question as per why exactly, what you're happy about, what it's going to do. And his answers have to do with, in a roundabout way, his innocence in all of this, as opposed to finding the kids. Deception detection techniques, including statement analysis, behavioral observation, polygraphs, and linguistic review are used in investigations like the Jack and Lilly case because they help investigators navigate situations where direct physical evidence is initially absent or limited. In missing children cases, especially those involving potential caregiver involvement, these tools serve as important investigative aids rather than conclusive proof. That's not a negative thing, friends. That's a good thing. This clarity is what I wish to put onto the greater audience today in this sense. It's a good reminder because a lot of frustration is generated in the comments section in trying to divide people. Dudes, people, they're lying. The RCMP need to figure out why and still put the case together. Children reported missing from home, like Jack and Lilly, often start as missing persons files. The RCMP must quickly determine if it's an abduction, accident, runaway, or something involving the caregivers, whether it be foul play, concealment, or false reporting. This all with with unfilled timelines and gaps in caregiver statements. Deception cues help prioritize leads and allocate limited resources. Like we were talking, statement analysis identifies inconsistencies in leads. Techniques like scan or plaids, priority leakage avoidance, intentions distancing, sensitivities examine voluntary statements, 911 calls, interviews, or public appeals for linguistic red flags, such as vague language, changes in tense or pronouns, avoidance of specifics, extraneous details, psychological distancing, or leaks of knowledge only the perpetrator would have. In the Sullivan case, contradictions in witness or caregiver statements, like timeline involving figures like Janie McKenzie or others, make these tools useful for highlighting areas needing deeper scrutiny. The behavioral and verbal cues guide interviews. Deceptive behavior, inconsistent emotions, overly rehearsed stories, lack of sensory details, prompts follow-up questions that can elicit confessions or new evidence. Polygraphs were used multiple times in this investigation to test caregivers and others. While not court admissible, they create psychological pressure and reveal inconsistencies. Supports warrant applications and data collection. Indicators of deception help build affidavits for production orders, such as the phone, the bank, the GPS records, search warrants, and device seizures. RCMP used these extensively to track movements and fill timeline gaps independently of what caregivers said. This is crucial in no-body scenarios where physical evidence may take time to surface. Major crime units face volume. Deception detection helps triage. Who needs re-interviewing? Which alibis verify first? Which community tips to pursue? In the Sullivan investigation, with over now 100 plus interviews, thousands of videos reviewed, ongoing data analysis, these tools contribute to a comprehensive approach alongside traditional policing. Now, important caveats here. These methods are not infallible and should not be used in isolation. Stress, trauma, poor interviewing can mimic deception. Scientific support varies, with results require cooperation with hard evidence, like forensics, timeline, records. RCMP treats the case as an act of missing persons while pursuing all angles until facts determine otherwise. Public updates emphasize fact-based tips over speculation. Deception detection adds value by helping viewers understand why police focus on certain statements or request specific records. It supports raw, time-stamped analysis of contradictions without claiming it proves guilt. You can frame it as one tool in a larger evidence-based investigation. Deception detection accelerates the search for truth in emotionally charged, evidence-scarce cases like Jack and Lily's. But physical digital evidence and persistent investigation ultimately drive outcomes. I got done reading over some of these. I read your emails this morning, sending me the link to this video with this old audio clip of Daniel talking to we don't know who, but it was probably sourced by one of them. It's just, it's one of these pieces that seem like it's to unwitting or unknowing ears that this is insider information at the time, like Daniel talking off the record about the truths of the scenario. It helps make his bullshit scenario story seem more credible, especially to those in his immediate, like his family in that sense. It's absolute fucking garbage. It's a gold mine in deception detection, though. So I thought I'd read that before we get started, because people who aren't into it or don't know, I think, get the wrong idea. Because after you compile so many of these things, or red flags, indicators of deception, your bias gets worked up against Daniel, Malaya, and Janie. No matter what, that should be a reminder to you exactly who's guilty in this situation. These people at no point sound like they're innocent, act like they're innocent, behave like they're innocent, project what they want in the future as though they're innocent individuals. Everything is so suspicious with them. It's just a matter of time before the police gather enough evidence, and the circumstantial evidence is so great against them, they're going to be forced, I should say forced, but they're going to proceed with charges in that sense. Let's not forget what police have already been doing in separate probes stemming from the Jack and Lily case. Daniel's 3 very serious charges, as well as Jordan's, they're all stemming from this particular case. Ain't none of it having to do with them being innocent of anything. I'll upload this as a standalone right now. 13 minutes. Good morning, friends. Happy Monday. Good to see you.